Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. We've got Donald Trump live in a few moments' time from the cabinet. We've got gold being dumped around the world. We've got China doing deals now with the UK, Canada through the UK, the dollar in all sorts of trouble, and this is the beginning of the edges of the carry trade crash we've been talking about now for a while. We're waiting for Trump. He's been delayed. Not surprised. I am going to put I'm going to put some trades on my Discord group, Discord Premium Lucasades. I'm adding some trades now to tell you what I'm doing. This is my Discord members and Electra members. I'm making some trades right now. We're not going to be front run. We don't share this to the world. So here we go. This is in my if you want Discord, there is Discord. It's 90% off. It's only a couple of bucks. Literally, I'm not making money out of it. I'm just doing it to help people. There is Discord if you want it in the chat, 90% discount. There is Electra membership, but I am making some trades right now. So let me tell everybody on those services. We don't do it publicly because we don't want to be front run, and we are front run all the time. So we're not doing that. Okay. Okay. Just put in my trades. Yesterday, Sensei was talking to Michael Burry as well. You can talk to him about that experience as well. We are now number 2 bestseller in the world for our newsletter. Everyone, right? Okay, there we go. I've just told my Electra members what I'm doing. I'm telling my we've got Donald Trump waiting. He's putting back his meeting. I'm not surprised. He doesn't want to go live at the moment, does he? He wants it to bounce. Right. That's everybody on Discord.
I can't believe this.
I've got a new member. Welcome to you.
Lady Jesus Christ Piggin has become a member.
That's a name and a half, isn't it? Well, there you go. So let me share this onto my YouTube Electra members. These are all my trades ahead of time before I do them, so you know what's going on. I don't do it publicly until it's been done. All right, Electrum and higher. There we go. Okay. And you're all notified. An email's just gone out as well, so you're all made aware of what's going on. All right. Okay. You got all those trades, guys? Bloody hell, yeah. 500 of you in seconds have got it. Everyone's reacting to it. Okay. So just a little nibble there. Just a little nibble. We are back in XRP. We've doubled our position in the last 5 minutes. We've got XRP again. I haven't got any limit orders set there, so I can share with you my XRP. We've just doubled our position. Many people got liquidated, and I bought it from you. You can now see I've got $9,000 of XRP, 5,000 coins at a much better price. You now see why I sold earlier. You now understand why I took profit. And now I've got 600 grand to buy all of this. So I'm down 3.4%. Whoop-de-wallop. I think you'll agree that's not bad, considering we are like what, 50, 60% down at the moment this year, or whatever it is. I mean, look, whatever it is, 3 months, 1 year, 41%. Yeah. That's from there, but from the top, we are 16, 56, 57% from the top. So to be down a staggering 3% isn't really an issue, is it? So anyway, I will set more limit orders there. I want to build that to $100,000. So stand by if you want to know. Yes, yeah, congratulations, Sensei. Yeah, we're number 2 bestseller in the world on Substack, which is the leader in the world for newsletters. We're very proud of Sensei. It's a major achievement. Number 2 bestseller, and Sensei was talking with Michael Burry. Here's the notification we had from Substack. There you go. Number 2 bestseller. We'll be number one, I would imagine, by the end of the day. Anyway, there we go. Congratulations, Sensei. You deserve it. It is the best newsletter. There's no question about it. And the fact you're talking to Michael Burry kind of says it all, doesn't it? Anyway, let's get into it. I'll call it, yeah, Vaz wants to be on the show as well. Great stuff. We are putting back Ladies of Crypto, obviously, for a little while. We will be there shortly, and you'll want to be part of that. But right now, we're just nibbling. We're nibbling at the S&P 500. We are nibbling. We're not doing a big swing trade. We're not trying to be part of the problem. We're just buying a small position. My Electra members and Discord members know what that is. If you want that, there is Discord. If you join in this live stream, I will onboard you during the show, and I'll show you how it all works. All right. 90% discount, there's Discord, and there's my membership link. Right, so we just started to nibble on the S&P 500. We're going to have an okay year, but at the end of the year, we're going to be up. Now, we've already made 6.5% this year. We've already made a ton of money. We did 70 grand last year. We took $250,000 from the US government 2 days ago on that USAR Discord members and Electra members. That was an amazing trade. I made 4.5 grand. Someone made 50 grand. Somebody else made 4 grand. We calculate around about $250,000 we took from the US government. Those politicians trying to scam everybody, pumping and dumping it. So we knew it. We had their names and we bought it. And we beat them. So we're waiting for Trump to speak. The cabinet, they're bound to delay this. They're not going to want to come out yet, but we are waiting for it. The moment we can bring it to you, we will. I'm sure they don't want to go live now because, well, maybe Trump does because he'll blame Powell. He'll say it was Powell's fault. Maybe. But I know we'll end up end of the year up. So I'm starting to nibble into the S&P. I'm going to do a similar move on my Roth IRA. I've just told my Discordians what this move is. So you know what my move is, folks. All right. Discordians, you know. Yeah. Okay, so Discordians, you know what that move is on the Roth IRA. I told you before I was going to do it, so I've done it now. That's the Roth IRA. That's what I've bought. Okay, we're good there. Come back to there. We're waiting for Donald Trump to take his place on the stage. He's going to do a meeting in the cabinet room. Yeah, a small position there. We're not going crazy at all. Right. Okay. Trump is being delayed. He's not coming out yet. I know he's either going to want to come out and say it was Powell's fault, or he'll come out and say something. I mean, where it broke last night was when Trump said, "I can play yo-yo with the dollar." And then everyone went, we've had enough. China did a deal with the UK. Canada through UK did a deal with China. And now the dollar is being dumped and the gold is crashing. And we knew this when everyone down the pub says, I'm buying gold, you know there's a problem. And there it is. The S&P is down 1.45. This was exactly the same moment that CNBC live on air this morning, we caught it, said, we're going to rally today. And I went, utter nonsense, utter lies. They never want to talk about crashes on CNBC. I hate them. I hate them. They lie to people all the time. They are like the most number. Like you got Tom Lee with his badge on selling his ETF, granny shots and Ethereum. They're all making up stuff just to get you to watch, and then they'll all be there for the crash after it happens. Well, we're trying to be there before it happens so we can all make money and not get completely stuffed by all the nonsense, but they don't care. Anyway, so we are just nibbling into the S&P. It's going down again. We could drop now 40% once the carry trade unwinds fully.
I can't believe this.
Electrum.
Cryptorific has become a member.
Cryptorific, you are now an Electrum member. If you go onto the posts, you will see what I've just bought. You will know what I'm buying. You can see all the Electrum posts. You can now see them all because you are an Electrum. Go and see my posts on YouTube. You know exactly what I'm buying. I haven't got any more orders set up. They're all executed. We're now waiting for Trump to speak. We're going to buy a ton more, 600 grand worth of the S&P at the right moment. Not yet. Not yet. We're just nibbling. We're just doing small amounts. I mean, small amounts, 50 grand, 100 grand. They're not small amounts, but they are small amounts for my portfolio. XRP, we've just bought 10 grand. I can tell you now because the trade's gone through. Discord and Electrum knew what it was. But we're waiting for Trump to come on stage, at least come into the cabinet office. I can't wait to see what he has to say to all of this. We are waiting. We've got some live news coming out of Minneapolis, shootings. We've got all sorts going on at the moment. But anyway, we're going to keep our eye on all of this. We're waiting for Trump to take his place at the table for the cabinet office. He's obviously delaying it. He won't want to come out like this. I don't know. He'll either come out and say it was Trump, it was Powell's fault, or he'll say, I don't know. I don't know how you can answer this because gold is being dumped and the dollar is going to crash. And the S&P is, I mean, on a day when I said to you, Tesla, Microsoft and Meta, 100% were going to beat on earnings. I had a good bit of information there and they did all beat. But the guidance for Microsoft was a bit concerning. And then CNBC came out and said, we're going to rally today. It's going to be great. Tom Lee said 100 grand, 200 grand Bitcoin by the end of December. That was rubbish. Then he said, well, I'll change that to January. That's rubbish. And here we are. Here we are with exactly what we predicted over and over again. So we're waiting for Trump to come out. Don't buy gold on the little bounce. I see gold is having a little quick of a rebound. Be careful. Don't do that. All right. You're much safer now buying the S&P, to be quite honest. This can dump as fast as it went down.
Edwady4Q2 has become a member. Gutted I sold my Coca-Cola. Smiley face emoji. Buying more S&P.
Why? Why are you gutted? I mean, we did $24,000 on the first trade, $14,000 on the second, $4,000 on the next, $4,000 on the next, 3, and then 2. You've now already made the $80 target if you've been following all my trades, and obviously I don't want you to, but if you had, you've already made the $80 target. Everything now is free money. And remember, just because Coca-Cola is rising, as I said, it's a defensive play. So people sell the S&P, they sell tech to buy back Coca-Cola. Yes, they do, but now we're at $74. The target is 80 at the end of the year. This will be dumped as well. So this is why I sold it this morning. I sold Coca-Cola around about here. Here. Sold it this morning. I've already taken my profit. I don't care about this. This is all rah-rah. This is all fluff and nonsense. You don't want it up there. You want to be out. Always buy the bottom. Don't worry about the top. That doesn't matter. No one gives two hoots about who was in at the top. All we care about is who was in at the bottom. So don't worry about that. Anyway, Coca-Cola is now rising, but it will dump soon. Gold is starting to roll over again. The S&P is starting to rebound back. I have bought a bit. I'll tell you now because the trade has gone through. It's $50,000, right? So I just bought a little quick $50,000, the S&P. And if we get a 1% bounce on that, I'm not going to tell you. No way am I telling you. But yeah, I'm up. Of course, I'm beating the market again. I should be green. Should I go green? I mean, bloody hell. There we go.
I can't believe
we're beating
this.
The market. Wookie153.
153 has become a member.
You can now see all my trades, plus all the chart stuff, plus, the analysis, stock analysis videos that we do, plus the CEO videos, 2 shows a week Electrum. That's all exclusive to you. Yeah, you've got that. I just see that. Right, so we're making money again now. We're making money really easy. Gold is going back up. We are waiting for Trump to take stage. He's got a cabinet meeting. We are on hold for it. We have to hear what he says. And right after that, we will go to Ladies of Crypto. Casey is waiting to go live, but she understands. Very gracious to let us cover this first. Thank you, Casey. I know everyone's expecting your show this morning, but we have to cover this first. So we're just seeing if what we can. We're not going to do a massive buy. As I say, I don't want to be part of the problem. I've just done a little tiny 50 grand just to start nibbling in at the S&P, building a base for the beginning of the major crash. This is not it. We've now got a nice little bit of XRP. We've got 9 grand of it now. Lovely. Average price 186. Get in. But remember, my true average is about 50 cents because I bought it at 38 cents. So overall, I'm about 50 cents.
Gary 4V has become a member.
Thank you for becoming a member. Awesome stuff. Right. Well, we're on standby. We're waiting for Trump to speak. We're up. We're making money. We're beating the market. We've nibbled in. Our overall portfolio, we started at 5 grand. We are now at 312,000. All-time high today, despite what's going on. We've beaten the market again. All right. So we're going to keep our eye on the S&P 500. It's having a little bounce now. We're not going to buy it on the way up, are we? No, we just had a little nibble. That's all we've done. We're waiting for Trump to take the stage. We've got updates of the US getting closer now to attacking Iran. That will create chaos as well. The portfolio is now bouncing up quite quickly. This could be a scalp trade. This could be a scalp. If we bounce this quick, I will do a scalp trade 100%.
I can't believe this.
Yeah.
At Rusty Flipper Fishing 8,200.
We're bouncing into Trump's meeting. Gold is coming back. Gold had a massive sell-off and came straight back. Do not think this is an opportunity to buy. It's absolutely not. You cannot control it. So I am, well, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do, but I will tell my Electra members in a minute. You can see my portfolio making money again. So we're up again today. We've already taken profit today. We made $300 $400 this morning, and now we're in a brand new trade. Okay, so waiting for Donald Trump to take the stage. Everything we've said over 3 years now, every one of our calls has been spot on. The carry trade is going to unwind. The market is going to crash. Dollar will go down. We've got inside information, good information that we're going to see the US government seize $60 billion worth of Bitcoin to pay off the national debt. That will be a disaster, by the way, when that happens. Some people said this morning they want to see Jerome Powell now come back and cut rates emergency. If you did that, you're down 20% in 5 seconds. We cannot have that. That would be absolute suicide for the US stock market. So we don't want that. We're waiting for Trump. I want to see how he reacts to this and how the market reacts to what he says. It's pumping into his speech, so it's giving me the chance to see. Look, gold is now folding over again. I warned you. So the S&P will do the same thing. It's a very quick little scalp trade on it. The S&P has just got a few people buying into Trump's speech. They'll use that as some kind of like a chance to pump it, but it will be dumped again. So we can make a bit of money here. It's only a small trade. $50,000 is not is a small trade really for me now. So it'll just be a quick little, maybe $1,000, something like that. But I don't want to be part of the problem. This is the thing. I want to make money, but I don't want to be part of the problem. The problem is, well, I didn't cause the problem. I don't know why I'm bothered really, but yeah, I'm here to make money really. But at the end of the day, it's just people don't know what they don't know, do they? Right, let's have a look at XRP. We are now starting to come up. This is good, isn't it? Look at this. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. This happened. A lot of you wondered why I bought and I did some movement on XRP last night. You all thought there was something going on today. There was nothing going on today at all. So why did I do it? What was going on today was social media was going hysterical about saying there was something going on. That's what was going on. There will be clarity. There will be a vote. It will win. But today, of course, the liars and the idiots come out on X and said it's all happening now. So up it went. So I made some trades and we made some money. But yeah, that's why I bought. And then all this collapsed, so I doubled my position. Anyway, it is what it is. We're waiting for Trump to come into the cabinet. So we're just on standby. At the moment, we're all just waiting. What's this breaking news? Oh,
sophisticated campaign. You could have done an emergency campaign.
Trump
of some
calls
sort,
a fair deal. No nuclear
now the
weapons.
Abraham Lincoln is there, carrier. But what it is, it's one carrier strike group. So it's got 3 destroyers with it. It's got, and they're air defense destroyers. It's got a submarine with it, which will have plenty of Tomahawk missiles on board. But that's it. And the carrier itself is extremely powerful, and it's got its F-18 Super Hornets on board and lots of other things. But the George H. Bush carrier left Norfolk a little while ago into the Atlantic. That looked as if it was going to the Mediterranean. That's turned back. And the Bush is back in Norfolk, Virginia this morning, as if there's been a problem with it. So he's got one carrier strike group there, which is powerful, but it's hardly a massive armada.
Oh, that's interesting. OK, so the armada not quite as massive, Dominic, as perhaps we're led to believe, but it is gunboat diplomacy, isn't it? What is Trump hoping for here? He's clearly hoping for a deal rather than starting a war with Iran.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big stick, and he's trying to use that to kind of, the threat of that to persuade the Iranian leadership to do a deal, and that seems to be a shift. Now,
Trump is live in a few moments. We're going to cover Trump live.
Brutally crushed by the Iranians, killing thousands of people, just gunned down in the streets. He said to the Iranian government, if you shoot people, if you kill people, then you're going to feel it from American firepower. That hasn't happened. It wasn't in the region. But now he's got the firepower there. He seems to be suggesting that it's not so much about that. It's about doing a deal with him, and that we understand is about the nuclear and missiles program. So dealing with the ballistic missile program that the Iranians are still operating, but also what remains of their nuclear program. And what's interesting about that Truth Social post is he kind of said, well, I've done it in Venezuela. I can do it as effectively in Iran. Iran is so different to Venezuela, not least because in Venezuela, it now turns out, the Americans had people on the inside, Delcy Rodriguez and others, who basically said to them, on the quiet, you take him out and we'll cooperate with you. There's no sign he's going to have that with the Iranians. He's not going to go in and take out Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader. It's a much tougher nut to crack. And I think the biggest danger for the Americans is it could be totally counterproductive. The Iranians could end up having to rally around the government that's lost all legitimacy, that they despise, because they're being attacked. And it's hard to see how he would sort of bomb them into submission.
Yeah, well, let's ask Michael that question. I mean, what potential targets could there be?
3 possibilities, none of them very good. One is go for the nuclear sites again, for what use that would be, because as Don says, that would create a rally around the flag sort of effect. Secondly, go for IRGC bases of some sort, their infrastructure, or a decapitation strike, just try to take out the leadership. But again, I mean, that's not so easy. I mean, the IRGC are about 200,000 officers or people, and they've got behind them, the Basij, about 600,000 militias. So there's about 800,000 people who are armed and determined, and they don't just do it as a job. This is their life. This is their families. This is their wealth. This is what gives them meaning to their existence. And even if the Iranian revolution, the Islamic revolution, is only popular with about 10% of the population now, which is the general view, that's still 5 million people. So there's a base of support there. And bombing different sites is not likely to reduce that base of support, and it might actually have the effect of killing off the protests. Because it would make it very easy then for the IRGC or the Basij just to come out on the street and hose anybody who comes out on the assumption that they must be American agents. So it's very difficult to think of targets that would help the opposition at the moment.
Really interesting, fascinating stuff. James, back to you. Just on that Venezuela point, President Trump did make that point, didn't he, in his Truth Social post? But these are 2 very different cases.
Well, they absolutely are, yeah. And as Don pointed out, there was cooperation in Caracas. That was a surgical strike. with pre-planning. They
Stand
had
by
people on
Discord
the inside.
and Electrum members. I'm making some
gold
trades.
Standard stuff in terms of the extraction and arrest of Nicolas Maduro, but it's a whole different ball game in Iran. You know, the end game, apart from anything else, what would be the end game in Iran? How do you give those people who've been protesting in the streets what they want? It takes rather more than coordinated strikes far from Tehran, I would suggest. I mean, Donald Trump holds up Venezuela for good reasons, because that reflects
We're waiting to get
him
Donald
and
Trump
his
on the
country
show.
and his military as
by.
best in class, and it demonstrates absolute success, which is how he would want to present himself as commander-in-chief. But Venezuela, you know, it's a done deal. We see that already. We heard Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, this morning talking about how it's all going swimmingly. They have Delcy Rodriguez in their back pocket. They have access to oil resources. So, you know,
okay,
Venezuela,
I'm going to mute myself because I'm going to
That's
speak
part.
now to my Electrum members,
Iran,
my Discord
a whole
members. I'm
different
telling them
set
what I'm
of
doing.
problems. What
Stand
would
by,
the
I'll be
end
right
game
back.
be?
I'm just muting
What would
myself,
be the capacity
speaking
for
to Electrum
instability
and Discord
both
members.
inside Iran and in the wider Middle East itself? That's the kind of conflict and the kind of scenario that Donald Trump doesn't want to get dragged into. These people in this auditorium, the loyal MAGA support base, they voted him in on the back of a promise not to be involved and get engaged in foreign wars. He doesn't want to be staring down the barrel of that prospect.
Yeah, well, let's finish with a final thought from Dominic. Moving on from that point, what is the Iranian calculation here? Because as James was saying, they know Donald Trump doesn't want to be dragged into a huge conflict. What will be going through their minds, Stephen?
I think they'll be worried. I think Donald Trump unsettles them. He killed Qasem Soleimani, something that no one thought he would do. One of the great sort of military heroic figures of the Iranian Revolution, just ordered his assassination. He might do something very unexpected here. But I think they'll be playing for time, and they will know that the narrative that they have put out there misleadingly, very deceptively during this unrest, which was that it was fomented by foreign agents. Yes, they killed lots of people. They've admitted that, but they've said that they had to, because these foreign agents, these Americans, these Zionists were in the crowds. They had to kill them. Well, if the great Satan, as they call America, starts bombarding Iran, that falls completely into their lap. It gives them a further excuse to kill any kind of protest and unrest. And there's no way the American firepower joins with civilian uprisings in Iran and topples the regime for that reason. When we went there shortly after the 12-day war, someone said to us, you know, we hate the regime. We hate the fact that they tell us what our daughters have to wear on their heads, what kind of things we have to do at home. They should get out of our lives.
Stand by, everybody. We've got Trump in a few seconds. I have just sent my orders through to Electrum and Discord. You know what I'm buying. You know what I'm selling. I'm trading this. I thought, sod it. What the hell?
The government has lost legitimacy, you know, again, because it's killed so many people. Ultimately, it's probably like the Soviet Union. It will fall from power. This government is just unsustainable in that sense. But it's going to take longer than this, and it's very hard to see how an American armada can hasten their downfall. They're very canny negotiators, the Iranians. They will get what they can out of this. And if Donald Trump does a deal with the government, then it actually could strengthen the people who have gone out and done so much damage to their own people on the streets of Iran.
Yeah, and the Iranians will play that game. They'll look as if they're doing a deal with the Americans and string it out and string it out and string it out. And Mr. Trump may find himself again in one of these endless discussions about a deal which doesn't quite happen. That's another possibility.
Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out in coming days. Dominic, Michael and James in the United States, thank you all very much.
All right, we are waiting for Trump.
This newly released video was
We're just
filmed
waiting.
11
We
days.
are in a pausing mode. We keep coming back to it. Any moment now. Any moment now we'll have Trump speaking live from the White House. We're just waiting for Trump to take the stage. So we're just showing it. They're just showing a few commercials and bits and bobs. Electrum members and Discord members, did you all receive my notifications? I've just made some trades. We just made some money. It was really easy, but there we go. Let's look at XRP for a moment. We've just doubled our position. We're going to quadruple our position shortly. I will share with you the trades. We're watching the news. At the moment, we're seeing ICE and people shooting each other. It's awful, isn't it? Just everyone's angry now. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, when I grew up in the 80s and I looked at America, it was like the United States was this magical place, and I love it. And but now it's not united at all. We got half the country hate each other, and I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. It's very sad to see. I live in America, in Dallas, and all I see is everyone's angry. You go out on the streets and everyone's just so angry. It's so sad. Anyway, so a couple of nights ago, this is when the carry trade started to pick up pace. When Trump said, I can play yo-yo with the dollar. That was the moment it began. That's when gold went crazy. That's when China did a deal with America. Sorry, China did a deal with the UK. Canada did a deal through the UK to China. And it's like, okay, we get America first, America on your own. People are doing deals. China is using the opportunity now to crash the dollar. They're going to dump gold all of a sudden. It's going to drive everything bonkers. Be careful that people are already buying it back. This is absolutely stupid. It rallied and then went down to like, what was it, 10% or something? Now everyone's buying it again. Absolutely crazy. I don't understand it, but there it is. We're not holding it. We're just making money and we're out. And we are where we are, folks. And this is what happens. We're on standby. We're waiting for Donald Trump to come into the cabinet office, sit down, react to all of this. So anyway, let's have a look at Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin done? We've got a big story on Bitcoin. You saw it the other day. 84,000 now. Yeah, this was supposed to be 200,000 by the end of the year. Claimed a salesman called Tom Lee, who they fashion his hair and his glasses to look like a crazy guy, a bit like Alex Karp. It's all production. Everyone bought into it. Then he said, oh, it's January. That didn't happen. Now it's the end of 2026 and people just keep buying into it. Well, I don't. Anyway, it is what it is. And we're up again today. Of course, we're beating the market again. We're always beating the market. We're making money. We're waiting for Trump to speak any moment now. Now, if you want to be part of this, if you're new to the channel, just let me tell you who I am. My name is Martyn Lucas. That's my real name. There's no pretending or buggering around here. I was given that name because Kenny Baker, the man inside the robot of R2-D2, was my godfather. And my parents were both successful entertainers. I'm the world piano man, as voted by Elton John. I've toured all over the world. I've done my own Vegas show, a big orchestra, showgirls, and I've made my fame and fortune with traveling the world. Never made any money, actually. I spent it all on the show. But I'm here to help people. All I want to do is help people. And my wife, at the end of the day, I ask her, did I do a good thing today? I'm not here to sell you things. Our training program is given to you for free in the newsletter. We have the #2 best-selling newsletter on Substack, which is the #1 platform in the world for newsletters. We are #2 bestseller. We just got an award again this morning. We'll probably be #1 by the end of the day. Sensei, our creator of this, was talking to Michael Burry yesterday, who also believes there's a crash coming. There it is, #2 in news. We are #2. If you want the newsletter, it's the best newsletter. It's honest. It's real. It's our own information. Other YouTube channels use our information on their channels. We don't get any information from social media. We do our own work. Okay. I talk directly with Ripple. Talk directly with Bank of America. I've got one White House press room contact. I'm not here to sell you anything. My trades and my one-on-one support. Yes, one-on-one support. At the end of the shows, in between the shows, I go into Discord, do live video calls with everybody, answer everyone's question. Is 90% discount. There it is. Limited supply. We can't do many more because it's getting really busy. There's Discord now in the chat. All right. If you want that, you can get that for $3. It's the minimum you can charge on Discord. 90% discount. I just want to help people and do something nice. All right, I'll put in the chat and I'll pin it to the top so you can see all of this. Yeah, congratulations, Sensei. It's amazing what T has achieved and what the channel is doing. 98% of our live viewers are members, double what CNBC and Bloomberg is. We will be the first channel in the world to go to 1 billion, 100%. I'm sitting here 12 hours a day and making it so. Pin the message to the top. There you go. There is that. We're waiting for Trump to speak. The moment he speaks, we'll go to it live. We are waiting. So at the moment he does, we'll be there. Okay.
the time. The carrier had gone last October. He had 3 destroyers in the area and 3 literal combat ships, which are like corvettes. There was nothing there to conduct a sophisticated campaign. You could have done an emergency campaign of some sort, but nothing sophisticated. Now the Abraham Lincoln is there, carrier, but what it is, it's one carrier strike group. So
we're just waiting for Trump to speak. I think he's delaying the event. But we are waiting for it, so stand by. It'll come when Trump's ready, I guess. You know, that's how these things work. But if you'd like to get all my trades, there's Discord. It's 90% off. It's always 90% off. I mean, there's no like, you know, sales. It's always 90% off. I just want everyone to, you know, get the information so I can help you. So at the end of the shows, we go over there and we do live link ups for you, live video calls, and we help everybody. No one gets left behind. We're here to help people. That's what we do. So please stand by. If you'd like to be part of our journey, please tap the like button. We are looking for moderators, ambassadors around the world. We're now in 72 countries, and we want to be able to do good for people and raise money for charity. We've already raised millions. Look, there's my plaque from the Lions Club. This is my plaque for the Kerrville Lions Club down in there in Texas. We're here to help people. So be part of our family. Click subscribe and like if you'd like to. We'd love to welcome you. If you do become a member, let us know in the chat where you're from. What we're going to do, because it's a big day, a lot of people are losing everything today, and we don't want that. You know, it's how we all make money, though. It's a sad thing about it. Let me give everyone the link here. Live video call. If you want to be on today's show and ask a question, everyone can phone in. Live video phone in. I've just realized, no, that's tomorrow. Blimey. That's okay. We're all good. I thought I'd missed something. Live video phone in. If anybody wants to call in, there is the link. You can be live on the show. You have to be a member. We don't want bots and trolls and scammers and idiots just want to swear. We're not interested. You've got to be a member. If you are a member, it's only a couple of bucks. It will never go up in price. No inflation. Just trying to help people. That's it. Right. We are waiting for Trump. When are we going to get him to speak? Why is he delaying it? What's going on? Well, I don't know. Maybe he wants the market to bounce back. Here we go. Live. Yeah, I've got it now. This is coming up shortly.
I can't believe this.
We got it. Here we go.
At Pedro Olive 1214 has become a member.
Here it is. There's the event. Shortly, Donald Trump cabinet meeting, and we're bound to get a reaction. There we go. We've now got it on the screen. We are waiting directly from the White House. We have it. Stand by. So while we wait, we've got a few minutes. I'm going to share a couple of things with you to help you what we're trying to do here. As I said before, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just broadcasting on YouTube. Is Paul McCartney a YouTuber? I've rehearsed with Wings when Wings comes to the US to take the part of Paul. Is Paul a YouTuber? Of course not. Elton John, is he a YouTuber? I'm voted as the world piano man. No, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just broadcasting on the best network in the world, YouTube TV. Please understand that. So what we're trying to do is build a network around the world where we're live all the time. 72 countries already, 24 hours a day. So you might like to do this. While we wait for Trump, you've got this. We are on the homepage of the channel. Please click subscribe. If you've all done that, we will be the first channel in the world to 1 billion. 100%. Right? So what you do is this. On the homepage of the channel, there are 3 channels. The main channel, you can subscribe right now. You've got the extra channel. What is this? This is where we're live 24/7. 24/7 because people watch us in different times around the world. And what we do, unlike Bloomberg, I can't believe they do this, but they do. They replay the same video every night when they finish. Has anyone ever seen it? The same video, round and round and round. What we do is replay today's stream. So you're always getting the day stream and replay it so people watch at different time zones. But we do it so it's live, so people can chat. The comments are live. So this is the extra channel. That's the first channel. Go and subscribe to it. Now, what we do to keep the bots and the trolls out 24/7, there it is. You can watch for free, listen for free. Here it is. Look, here's the extra channel running live now. It says here, look, restream today's shows. It's 99 cents to be a member. The cheapest you can make it. Why do we do that? Because it stops the bots and the trolls chatting in it. All right? They can't talk in it. And believe it or not, we've never had anybody pay 99 cents to troll the channel. It's beyond words. That's how stupid these people are. Anyway, 99 cents a month. That's all it costs to be a member. And then you can chat 24/7. You become an ambassador for the show, talk to people, find out the facts, and you can talk to me 24/7. I go in there and I let you know what's going on throughout the day. I drop in the links. I tell you when I've dropped a trade into Discord. I tell you I've dropped a trade into my Electrum. I've got a White House press room contact at Ripple, Bank of America, Robinhood. I let you know who I'm talking to when I'm doing it. The next channel is the Clips channel. This has just been released. There is no ads, no memberships. I make it completely free. Why? I want to help people, right? It's completely free. Here's the Clips channel. What is the Clips channel? We take all the headlines of the day and turn them into 30-second clips. Go and subscribe to it. It's free. No ads. No memberships. You can subscribe to it for free. The Clips channel. Everything broken down into 30-second pieces. Look at all this. With all the words on the screen so you can see even if you can't listen to it because you're muted. The last channel, if you want to see my music as the World Piano Man. My music channel. You can see things here I've done with Elton John, Paul McCartney. This is my music channel. All right. When I get to 10,000 subscribers, if you subscribe to it, I can do fundraising events on the music channel where all the money goes to charity. Not even credit card fees. The show is free. The credit card fees, zero. It's all done there for you. Please go and subscribe to that. All right. Okay. You've got all the information. We're going to go back now to Donald Trump. Let's see if he's speaking yet. No, we're waiting. We are waiting. He'll be live. While we wait, we have a star guest. Remember, you can all call in if you want to call in. Here is the link. Zach Zeit from Israel, now living in California, would like to be on the show. So nice and quickly, we're going to bring in Zach Zeit, who is an investor, one of our dearest friends here on the channel. Let me bring him into the show. Let me bring you now interview one. And Zach Zeit, welcome to the show. How are you, mate? You are live on the show. Talk to me, mate. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you in a second. Yep, just call in again or whatever. But you are connected. You are connected. You'll try again. All right. Now then, if you are subscribing to any of those channels, your name will come up on the screen if you do it now. All right. Now then, what we're going to do, we're waiting for Donald Trump to go live to talk about what's happened today with gold and everything else and the cabinet meeting. It's bound to be mentioned. Then we're going to go to Ladies of Crypto, our brand new show with our first female broadcaster. That will follow this. She's waiting for this to end. So once Trump speaks, we will then go to Ladies of Crypto. If you want to ask me a question, we'll go. If you want to do a super chat, it reads it out on the screen and I will answer everyone's question. No one gets left behind. We're waiting for Trump to speak. So what we'll do while we wait, we're going to go to members only so I can answer. Oh, here we go. Trump's live. Here we go. Trump is live. He's just started.
Different forces and the American flag and various others. It's, I think, quite spectacular. It's never looked this good. And hopefully we're going to do work that's never been as good. So I think that's basically what's happened in our first year. We've had an amazing year, and this will be our first cabinet after the year, so we're starting our second year. Tremendous progress has been made. I want to thank my entire cabinet for 12 months of unprecedented achievements. We really have. I mean, it's unprecedented. The numbers we've had on the economy and growth, you see them, and that's despite a Democrat shutdown. Without the shutdown, we would have picked up about 1.5 points more than already high numbers, record-setting numbers. So this has been, I think, and a lot of people say it, the most successful year of any administration in American history. First year, there's never been a first year like this, including the fact that we extinguished 8 wars, and another one we think is coming. Steve Witkoff's working very hard, and Jared and everybody else, and I think it's coming. It was just announced that the murder rate in our country is the biggest drop ever recorded. It's at the lowest level in 125 years. First in recorded history, it's the lowest in at least 125 years. It's a wonderful thing. And that crime is way down. And one of the reasons is we've taken a lot of bad people and gotten them out of our country. In some cases,
please tap the like button and share this out. It's very important news. Thank you.
Even take a chance of coming back in, even though our border is very secure, record-setting secure. We had 0 illegal aliens being admitted into our country for the last 8 months. That's hard. That's hard for even me to believe, but the people that make up the lists are.
If everyone could tap the like button, it shares this out to more people, and it would be a great help. Thank you.
And if they say that, I'm all for it. As you know, we've had a.
If you don't like, I'll keep talking.
With respect
keep
to
me
Venezuela,
quiet. Tap the like button. I'll shut up then. How about
General
that?
Kane and his staff. Well, the job that they've done is incredible. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And once it did take place, I want to thank the leadership of Venezuela. We're getting along really well with them. The relationships have been very strong, very good. And they have informed me that they feel there's very good security, very strong security. We're working with the various people involved, including Chris and Doug and everybody on the oil. We have the major oil companies going to Venezuela now, scouting it out and picking their locations, and they'll be bringing back tremendous wealth for Venezuela and for the United States, and the oil companies will do fine too. Venezuela will actually make for themselves more money than they've ever made before, and that's a good thing. And the people of Venezuela.
Everyone who joined,
we're literally in the streets.
Discord, I'm onboarding you now. Send me a friend request so you don't get scammed. I will onboard you and accept your friend request. Thank you. You'll see all my trades now.
Little Venezuela, they're thrilled. And I just spoke to the president of Venezuela, informed her that we're going to be opening up all commercial airspace over Venezuela. American citizens will be very shortly able to go to Venezuela, and they'll be safe there. They'll be safe. It's under very strong control. And the people of formerly of Venezuela, some want to go back and some want to go back to visit, and they're going to be able to do that. So I've instructed Sean Duffy and everybody else concerned, including the military, that if you would, by the end of today, I'd like you to have the airspace over Venezuela. Planes can go to Venezuela, opened up. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank all of the people in Venezuela for what what they went through, and I want to thank the leadership for really they're doing a good job. And just as I promised, we've defeated the Biden inflation nightmare and achieved explosive new economic growth. The Atlanta Fed is predicting an astounding 5.4% GDP growth in the fourth quarter. And that's despite the fact that we had a Democrat shutdown. We would have had,
at the end of the year, we're going to have a rally. That's true.
Which is a number nobody's ever heard of. And we've been given great national security because of tariffs, and we've also been given unprecedented income because of tariffs. Part of the income that we gave, $12 billion, we gave to the farmers of our country, so that yesterday I was up in Iowa, and they were very happy, Madam Secretary.
Yes, sir.
They were very, very happy. They were great. So the GDP growth in the fourth quarter was great. And it's going to be, I think we're going to have an amazing and incredible year. Hopefully we won't have a shutdown. We're working on that right now. I think we're getting close. The Democrats, I don't believe, want to see it either. So we'll work in a very bipartisan way. I believe not to have a shutdown. We don't want a shutdown. And just yesterday, the S&P 500 hit 7,000 for the first time ever. There's never been any time at which it's done like that. And the other stocks also, I think it was 52 times for the Dow, had hit a record high. But the 7,000 was not a number that was even thinkable if you go back a year ago. So S&P hit 7,000 for the first time ever. The stock market has set, it's actually 53 all-time record highs since the election, adding $9 trillion in value to savings, retirement accounts, and 401ks. And I mean, everybody benefits, but we have record stock markets. Companies have never done well. And most importantly, if you think about it, after 4 years in which Biden got much less than $1 trillion of investment into our country in just, actually it was taken over 11 months, even though we're 12 months. In 11 months, we've taken in more than $18 trillion. So they did less than $1 trillion, Scott, in a period of 4 years, and we've done $18 trillion in less than 1 year. So there's never been anything like that. No other country has done those numbers, by the way, in history. 10 years ago, one country did 3 trillion. No other, we did $18 trillion is being invested now. Thousands of businesses, plants, equipment all over the country are being built right now. And they're going to be opening pretty soon. And when they open, you'll see numbers like nobody's ever seen before. The economy is doing amazingly well. I wish the press would report it, but people are finding out. They're seeing it. It's coming. It's becoming pretty evident. It's hard to hide. Biden inflation, which is really stagflation, cost the typical family $34,000. Think of that, $34,000. But after 1 year, growth in real incomes is outpacing inflation by more than $3,000 under Trump. So one cost $34,000 and one made $3,000. That's a big swing. Gasoline has plunged to, think of this, over $4 a gallon, depending on where you are. In California, it's $7, $8 a gallon. While I was in Iowa, and they had $1.85 because I had it at $1.99 a gallon.
Believe this.
And I was corrected by two farmers that said, I just bought my gasoline for $1.85. So, Chris, you have to be doing something right, you and Doug, right? But I don't want to give you too much confidence. You got to keep it going. We're drilling, I think I can say we're drilling more than at any time ever in the history. We're taking out more energy out of our land, but specifically, if you look at oil and gas, we've never been anywhere even close. Is that a correct statement?
That is correct. All-time records.
Yeah, great. It's a great job. Well, it's supply and demand. So that's going down rapidly. And, you know, when energy goes down, everything else goes down. They tried to do their thing. It was a disaster. Then they ran back very late to the Trump policy, but they didn't do the Trump policy. They cut leases. They did everything that they could do, but they lost it. And they were very high, and we're now less than $2 in many areas, $2.30 a gallon average. Grocery prices, airfares, hotels, car payments, and rent prices are coming down very fast. And you don't hear the word affordability issued by the Democrats anymore. Now they're going into other things because they're getting beaten badly on affordability. Remember that when I was elected, I came into office, I inherited a total mess, starting with eggs, which were 4 times higher than they were just a year before. And Brooke got them down very quickly before Easter. They said they wanted me to buy plastic eggs for the egg hunt, at the very famous egg hunt at the White House. Sir, would you buy plastic eggs? I would buy a lot, of like 100,000 eggs. And I said, we're not going to buy plastic eggs. And by the time we had the egg hunt a few months later, we had the prices down pretty good. And now they're really low. Now they're at a very low level. So we really have, you don't hear the word affordability because we inherited very high prices and we inherited the highest inflation in 48 years. I say the history of our country. I think it sounds almost the same. Actually, I think 48 years sounds actually worse for some reason. So I'll go with the 40 because the press corrected me. I said history and they said, it's not history, it's 48 years. I said, I'll accept that. And we had the highest inflation in 48 years. We have now as you saw yesterday with the Fed, I'm not a fan of his, he said that inflation essentially is not a factor. It's really been pretty amazing. I just put out a statement about his statements. I won't repeat them here because they're too angry.
By the end of the year, we'll have a nice
to our tax cuts,
end of the year will be up.
Millions of Americans will soon receive record-setting tax refunds. You're going to get a lot of tax refunds.
But there'll be a big dip between now and then.
The average refund expected to be over $1,000 higher than it has been at any time. So we're going to be getting some pretty good refunds, a lot of people. If congressional Democrats had their way, Americans would right now be facing the largest tax hike ever. You know, their proposal was to raise taxes very substantially. And our proposal, which is in the great big beautiful New Deal. It's a New Deal in its own way. It's a Republican version of the New Deal. Right behind you is a nice picture of FDR. This is a much better deal than the FDR deal. But we have the great, big, beautiful bill, and it's given tremendous tax cuts and a lot of other things. People are now finding out how good it is, and it's just kicked in as of January 1st, by the way. So we're really starting to see it. Even though it's a month, we're really starting to see it. The U.S. economy would be cratering if they had won this election. Our country would be in very bad shape. Would be maybe not much of a country anymore. I don't think it would be a country anymore. They were doing everything wrong, but they were going to give you the largest tax hike in history, and we're giving you the largest tax cut in history in the great, big, beautiful bill. In addition, I think it's very good. I think it's very important. You have no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, and no tax on Social Security, but you also have, you're getting this is the first time this ever happened. If you buy a car, you go out and borrow money, you get an interest deduction. You take the interest rate, the interest that you're paying on the loan, you're able to deduct it for income tax purposes. So that's a first ever, and I think it's going to be great for everybody, including the car companies. I was in Detroit 3 weeks ago. I went to the Ford factory, spoke to the General Motors people. It's all the same. They're doing better than they've ever done. The factory I went to was like a World War I, earlier than World War I factory, opened up. One of the oldest buildings, but one of the biggest. And Ford was getting ready to close it a couple of years ago, and then they saw that I was doing well, and it looked like I would have a good chance of winning. And they kept it going, barely going. And last week they announced, during my visit, they announced that they're going to round the clock round-the-clock production. They never thought it was. I said, did you ever think? I spoke with Bill Ford and the president of Ford. They were both there, and they said, we can't even believe it. We were going to close this building 2 years ago, and now it's going round the clock. He said, we cannot. I mean, they said, we wish it was twice the size, but they're now building additional plants in the United States, as is everybody else. You have AI building, but the car companies, I love the car companies, and you have them, they're all coming back. They're coming back from Mexico, they're coming back from Canada, they're coming back from Japan.
If you want to keep me from talking, please tap the like button. We should have 1,000 likes now. This shares it out to more people. If you like, keep liking, I stop talking. Simple as that. Share it out, folks.
So because of that, they're all coming back. One statistic yesterday that Scott told me is that for the first time ever, tell them about the steel in Japan, that we are now making more steel. Go ahead, please.
So yesterday they reported for the first time in 26 years, the United States of America produced more steel than Japan. And that is entirely driven by your tariffs.
Amazing. Now think of it. He obviously said that much better than I did, because I got no applause, and I'm giving you home run after home run. He says one thing and everybody else. I should have saved that one for myself. No, but think of it. First time, and they read almost 30 years, but I guess it's what, 26, 27 years, that we are now producing more steel than Japan. Japan being a big steel producer. Japan and other countries really took our steel production away from us. Now, if you think of this, 3, 4 years ago, the steel companies were all closing up. We worked a fantastic deal with U.S. Steel. We saved U.S. Steel. And now it's all coming about. But and that's just the beginning. There are a lot of steel plants right now being built. So that's an amazing number. Nobody would have believed that. If you would have said that 3, 4, 5 years ago, people would have said, yeah, it's not a true fact. But so it has to be true, because otherwise you question me on everything. I have to be extremely accurate. I don't exaggerate it. I don't want to exaggerate, because you will call me. You don't call other people, but you would call me under my most favored nations policy, which I think is the most important thing, Bobby, of all what we've done, because we're bringing drug prices down by 80, 90%, depending on the way. You could say 5, 6, 7, 800%. Depends on the way you want to calculate it, right? But let's go the old-fashioned way. But drug prices for prescription drugs will be down 80, 90%, 75%, 68%. They've only gone up. For years and years and years, they've only gone up, and now we're going to have essentially the most favored nation. We're going to have the most favored price in the whole world. Whatever the lowest price in the world is, that's what we're going to pay. And I don't want to go into a big deal, but nobody else could have gotten this but this administration. I'm being very nice when I say that. The cost of prescription drugs is coming down by a number that was never even thought of. This will have a huge impact on healthcare, by the way, because obviously drugs are a big part of healthcare, and it will help repair some of the Unaffordable Care Act's damage that they've done, because the Unaffordable Care Act, which is Obamacare, it's unaffordable. It's not affordable, and it's a disaster. And hopefully we will be paying money directly to the people instead of giving the insurance companies the money. They'll go into a healthcare savings account or whatever it is. But think of it, we pay the money, billions and billions, really trillions of dollars going to insurance companies. We want that money to go to the people. They buy their own health care. And it's so popular. The problem we have is the Democrats are owned by the insurance companies. They're literally owned lock, stock, and barrel by the insurance companies, and they hate it. But the people love it, including all Democrats. So I think we'll perhaps be successful with it. But it was an idea I had. You know, I read the papers, and I'm reading one of the stories about the insurance companies, how much money they're making, where they received, billions and billions of dollars for this stuff from the United States of America, and their stock has gone up by 1,400%. Think of it, 1,400. One went up 1,700%. Numbers went up. If you go up 1,000%, you're doing bad in that business, right? And it's all because of the money. Not all, but mostly because of the money the United States pays to the insurance companies. They say, this is big stuff. And I asked somebody, why don't we just pay the people directly? And they said, that's a good idea. It's funny, it's a very complicated business, but actually it's not so complicated. And I went to Bobby and I went to Dr. Oz. I said, can I talk to you guys about this? Is this the kind of money the insurance companies get? Yes. Why don't we pay the people directly? And the primary answer was that the Democrats will never go along with it. But the people go along with it, because I put it out, it went viral. It went viral. Susie, I went all over the place. It became the biggest story. I just said it. And so I think we have a great situation if we can do it. But if you think most favored nation policy for drugs will bring your drug prices down at levels. So now if they're selling a pill for $10 in London and $130 in New York, the London price will go up to $20 and we'll go down to $20. So we'll go from 130 down to 20. And by the way, tariffs did it again, because the drug company said, we'll do it begrudgingly, but they were okay. But we'll do it, but no nation's going to approve it, because even if you raise the price by, like on a pill, $10 to $20, you're doubling the price of their prescription drugs. I said, no, they'll do it. And when I got them on the phone, I said, if you don't do it, we're going to charge you very substantial tariffs, more money than that's going to cost you. And they said, we'll do it. And before, I don't know that any other president even tried to do it. We can't find it. But if they did try, they wouldn't have gotten through the companies. They wouldn't have gotten through the company, and then they wouldn't have gotten through the country. I spoke with Macron. He was the first one. He was not at that time wearing sunglasses. And he said, no, Donald, I will not do this. I will not. I won't even consider. You're asking me to double the price. I said, you have no choice. You have to do it, because you guys have been ripping us off. In other words, the whole world, we've been subsidizing the whole world on drug costs. That's why they were $10 and we'd be at 130. As an example, there were many examples. I could give you examples even worse. He said, no, I will not do that. And I said, yes, you will. 100% you'll do it. He said, no, I won't do that, Donald. You're asking me to double the cost of our prescription. We will not do that. I said, look, you've been ripping us off now for decades. We're not going to do it anymore. You can do it under Biden and Obama and other people. You're not going to do it under us. We won't do it. I said, well, if you don't do it, I'm going to charge you a 25% tariff on all of your wine, champagne, and everything else you sell into the United States. He said, Like I said, I will do it. And that was the end of the conversation, right? That was the end of the conversation. So now we have favored nations that everybody said would be impossible to get. And I then had the same conversation with 15 other countries. Every one of them agreed after a short conference. They all said no. And then within a matter of seconds, they said, we would be very happy to do that. Thank you for asking in such a nice way. And it's, you know, it's a great achievement. I think it's going to be one of the best achievements we've had in this country in a long time. So we're going to be knocking drug prices down at levels never seen before.
Sensei's award-winning newsletter, which is #2 bestseller, now on Substack, which is the best place in the world for newsletters. He spoke to Michael Burry yesterday. He's #2 bestseller. We're now giving you a free trial on the newsletter. Everyone could try it now for free for 1 week.
I said, how come in
the link's in the chat.
I can buy something for $10 and in New York I have to pay $130? And they go, well, you know, it's research and development. I said, yeah, but you have research and development from them. Made in the same factory, made in everything. This is where my friend, who's very successful, I told you, a seriously overweight person, he takes the fat pill or the fat shot. And he was in London, and he said, cost $87 there, cost $1,300 in New York. What's going on? He called me up. And, I mean, I knew that, but he put it in a very blunt way. I've known him a long time. He's a crude individual, but smart as hell, made a lot of money. But he just thought it was sort of ridiculous. He happened to be in London, and he got the shot, you know, Ozempic, I think, or one of them. And I told him it wasn't working. It was, for him, it didn't work. But he brought up a good point. It didn't work. I told him, he knows who I'm talking about. He's going crazy. He begs me not to mention his name. He's not talking about me, ladies and gentlemen. No, it's not our great vice president. No, but he begs me not to mention his name because he's become very famous without mentioning his name. And he is actually a very well-known business person. But he did make a point. But I knew the point very well. We were always paying far more than any other nation. We were subsidizing the world. Right now, there's no more of that. So we're going to be bringing the drug prices down at numbers never seen before. It's going to have a huge impact, positive impact on healthcare. So with that, we are going to ask a couple of people to say a few words. We're not going to go through the whole table because the last time we had a press conference, it lasted for 3 hours. And some people said he closed his eyes. Look, it got pretty boring. I love these people.
I'll give you that. That's funny.
But there's a lot of people. It was a little bit at the boring side. But I didn't sleep. I just closed them because I wanted to get the hell out of here. Some of them, I didn't sleep, by the way. I don't sleep much. But, you know, it's funny. Some of them got me in a blink. You know, when you go like, you know, and they took me as at the closed segment of my cycle.
I can't believe this.
They said he's sleeping. And besides that, Marco, between these two guys, if I was sleeping, they'd be waking me up very fast. They'd be knocking me, come on, you got to wake up, boss. But no, we've had great meetings. Look, we're the most transparent presidency by far, and I love going around the room, but we're going to pick a few people. I think I would like to ask Steve if he could just give us a brief description of how well we're doing in the Middle East, because we have peace in the Middle East now. There's a couple of little minor flames that we put out very easily. And very importantly, we got our last hostage back, which is incredible. Unfortunately, this was something that nobody said could be done. And I will tell you, Hamas was a big factor in getting all of the hostages back. We were not happy with them, and they had to bring them back, and they found the dead hostages, the bodies of hostages. And those parents wanted their sons back, I think in all cases sons, but they wanted their sons and their family. They wanted their sons back as much as the people that had living hostages that we got them back too. So we got the 20, but remember, we got hundreds back previous to that. But I always said getting those last 20 back is going to be very tough. And we got them back, and we got all of the bodies back also, which to those parents was just as important as getting back the son that was living. Steve, could you give us a little description, please?
Well, your policy of peace through strength. That's what delivered them home. Without that pressure, it never happens. We are in the second phase now. We've stood up for the first time, Mr. President, on your behalf, a technocratic, all Arab government. We've got the terrorists out of there, and they're going to demilitarize. They will, because they have no choice. So we expect that. Pardon me?
And now we want to get Hamas no guns, right?
Right. They're going to give it up. They're going to give up the
A
AK-47s.
lot of people said they'll never disarm. Looks like they're going to disarm. And they did help us with those bodies, getting them back. Look,
And that family is so grateful to you. They called. I spoke to them. Jared spoke to them. You know, it's an amazing story. He broke his shoulder, but he went out there because he didn't want his friends to fight alone. He would be alive today, but for that. He had no reason to go out with a broken shoulder, and he went out and fought them courageously.
And died.
And died.
That's right. It's a great story, and the parents are great. They were the only ones who didn't, they came back pretty rapidly, actually, considering. And we had got some back initially with the initial group. After that, we had to get a lot. That's a tough job. That's a nasty job, too. Who would want that one? That's a nasty job. And between Israel and Hamas working together, if you can believe it, they got them back. And we got the last one back yesterday, and the parents are so happy. It's amazing, actually, how...
We sent a message to the parents on your behalf, as you suggested, and they were so grateful. I have a note for you.
Grateful to me is a much better word, because it's hard to be happy, but they were, actually. I mean, they couldn't believe that they had their baby boy. The mother said, my baby boy back. It's a very terrible thing. Steve, Russia, Ukraine, we've making a lot of progress. Could you explain that?
The Ukrainians actually said that we've made more progress since Geneva than they've seen in the last 4 years of that conflict. So we had 5 Russian generals last Sunday in Abu Dhabi with Jared and Dan Driscoll, and we think we made a lot of progress. The talks will continue in about a week, but lots of good things happening between the counterparties discussing the land deal.
Talking together.
We have a security protocol agreement that's largely finished, a prosperity agreement that's largely finished, and I think the people of Ukraine are now hopeful and expectant that we're going to deliver a peace deal sometime soon.
And because of the cold, extreme cold, they have the same that we do. I personally asked President Putin not to fire on Kiev and the cities and towns for a week during this. It's extraordinary. It's not just like cold, it's extraordinary cold, record-setting cold. Over there too, they're having the same. It's a big pile of bad weather, the worst. But it was really, they said they've never experienced cold like that. And I personally asked President Putin not to fire into Kiev and the various towns for a week, and he agreed to do that. And I have to tell you, it was very nice. A lot of people said, don't waste the coal, you're not going to get that, and he did it, and we're very happy that they did it.
That's correct.
Because on top of everything else, that's not what they need, is missiles coming into their towns and cities. So I just thought I should say it. I thought it was a very good thing, and Ukraine was almost, they didn't believe it, but they were very happy about it, because they are struggling badly.
I think it shows, Mr. President, how you provide an overarching sort of presence in these negotiations. The Ukrainians never thought it could happen. The Russians are doing things maybe that people wouldn't give them the credit for doing, and I think it always comes down to your indomitable spirit.
Well, it was a good thing. You know, if you think it's cold over here, they say in Ukraine you can add another 20% to it. It was very cold place anyway, but this was, they see numbers that were so, they've never seen numbers like that, cold numbers like that. So it was, I thought I should mention it. Could I ask Scott Bassett, we have so many things happening, could I ask you to maybe say a few words, please?
Yes, sir. So the one big beautiful bill that was passed on July 4th last year, we're starting to see the effects kick in. You mentioned the great economy. One of the things in the one big beautiful bill, Mr. President, it was an honor to host you, and as you said, the best rapper in the world, Nicki Minaj, at yesterday's Trump Accounts Summit.
She was great.
We've now had 1 million people sign up for Trump accounts just this week. We think there'll be 25 million families who are eligible. The segment that you and she did has 1 billion hits. 1 billion hits on the internet. So we're telling everyone, go fill out form 4547, trumpaccount.gov. So thanks to you, the Trump accounts, and next generation's America will benefit from today's record-breaking economy, record-breaking markets. Sir, when we came in, the Biden administration had destroyed the American people with the 3 I's: immigration, inflation, and interest rates. Immigration, check, you close the border. The inflation, as we've heard, back down to target. Prices are coming down. And interest rates, we hope there's more on the way. We've got gains in wages, low prices, and I think 2026 is going to be the year for the Trump boom. It's going to be a supply side boom. I enjoyed the trip out to Iowa. In the diner, the staff there was thanking you for the no tax on tips, and they're expecting big refunds. From that, we saw the CEO of John Deere, who said, thanks to your tariffs, new plants in Indiana and North Carolina.
Two massive plants being built by John Deere. And he's the chairman and CEO, wonderful guy. And I said he was at the event we had in Iowa, which is appropriate, John Deere, Iowa. But I said to him, so what are you doing? He said, we just announced 2 massive plants. In fact, they're going to have one plant for excavators. And he said, there hasn't been an excavator built in this country in 50 years or something. He said, they're taking it out of Japan and they're moving it into the United States. 2 very big plants. And I said, so why are you doing it? He said, because of you and because of tariffs. I said, if we didn't have tariffs, would you be doing it? He said, absolutely not. So it's very important, and I hope we're going to be successful with the Supreme Court case, because we're waiting, and we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars, and we don't want to give it back, number one. And number two, and you know, the people that are fighting us on that case, by the way, are China-centric.
I might have some XRP news. Stand by. I'm talking to Sensei, who was talking to Michael Burry yesterday. Stand by. I'm making a call.
Countries that have ripped us off for years and years, charging us tariffs, and now we're doing an amazing job, and we're getting it back. We're getting it all back and then some. And they're the ones that are leading that lawsuit that we have in front of the United States Supreme Court. So it's a very important lawsuit for our country, and hopefully it's going to work out. We're waiting a long time, but hopefully it's going to work out. We've taken in hundreds of billions, even trillions of dollars, and certainly we've taken in trillions of dollars of, you know, a big part of that $18 trillion that's coming in is because of tariffs that are coming in. They're building because they don't want to pay the tariff, and the tariffs are very, steep. They could be much steeper. You probably saw I put out a truth today, and the tariffs could be much steeper. We've been actually very nice about it, but even being nice about it, we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars, and honestly, they've given us tremendous national security. The power that we have because of that, they have given us tremendous strength and national security. Go ahead, Scott.
Yes, sir. And the IEPA power you used on the tariffs, as you said, we're bringing in tens of trillions of investments. The tens of trillions of investments turns into factories construction, which turns into factory jobs, which turns into consumer spending. You've right-sized the government, so government employment is down, private sector is up. Growth was a stunning 4.7, 4.8% in the past 2 quarters, biggest back-to-back gains in a decade. And we are doing that with government finances improving. So that will bring down the borrowing costs. The calendar year budget for 2024, 7% deficit to GDP, highest when we weren't at war, not in a recession. all the way down to 5.4% and getting better. Biggest decline since 2014. Generational gains in productivity, soaring productivity. We're going to lift workers' pay, record high prices, record high profits, and stock prices are soaring. You got a manufacturing renaissance, and all the key inflation metrics are trending lower. Over the past 3 months, the consumer price index is just 2.1.
Breaking news.
And core prices are even lower at 1.6.
Just having it confirmed from
and
Casey.
I think that could trend below 1, given energy, as you talked about, the pharmaceutical discounts, and
the Senate just passed the Clarity Act.
We're expecting a great year.
There'll be more on that after this. 12 to 11.
We're going to be announcing next week, I think, sometime, Scott and Howard and everybody. We're going to be announcing the head of the Fed, who that will be, and it'll be a person that will, I think, do a good job. We're paying far too much interest in the Fed. The Fed rate's too high, unacceptably high. We should have the lowest, and I think you read my statement today. I put out a statement before the meeting, but we should have the lowest interest rate anywhere in the world, because a lot of these countries are successful.
I just doubled my position on XRP.
We allow them to have surpluses.
We've just heard. I'll be bringing you more information on that shortly.
Most respect financially.
Casey's confirmed it. I'm confirming it. We're just getting more information on it now.
They're successful because we allow them to have surpluses, and we could easily stop that with the powers that we have, but we don't. We took some of it. But we took really just a small portion of it compared to what we could take if we wanted to.
Big news for XRP.
We should have the lowest interest rate anywhere in the world. They should be 2 points and even 3 points lower. And if it was, each point is the equivalent of, I would say, $500 billion. So if you got 2 points low, you have $1 trillion in saving. And it's almost, if you call it just a paper expense, you can do it with a pencil. It's not cutting. It's not saying we have to get rid of jobs, or it's just like literally so easy to do. But we have a guy that doesn't want to do it because he's, I think he's politically biased. I really do. I believe he's politically biased because most smart people say it's not even a question. But despite that, we were able to bust through. It's like busting through a wall. We were able to bust through a wall, and we have the kind of numbers that Scott and Howard with the steel and other things talk about. What would you say, Howard, in terms of how we're doing, generally speaking? Great businessman, very successful guy. He's doing a really good job. What would you say?
Well, no one, before you walked in the door, no one thought our economy could grow 2%. Fourth quarter, with the shutdown, 5.5%, and that means the first quarter, you could see the United States of America, with its $30 trillion economy, grow in the 6% range. And no one thought that was possible. That's how you get jobs. That's how you get money down. That's how you fix the deficit. You are fixing everything with your policies. You have changed America and created the golden age.
Thank you. And with the help of the Fed, because we really, we want help, not hindrance. Why would the Fed hinder? But with the help of the Fed, with the right choice, if we make the right choice, a lot of times you make a choice, you think it's good, and it turns out to be not good. But with the help of the Fed, we could hit numbers that have never been hit before. We could hit 8, 9, 10. There's no reason why not. And, I talk about, if you go back 20 years, 25 years, I'm old enough to remember, when we had good news, when you announced good news, the stock market went up. You announced anything good, the stock market went up. You announced bad, the stock market went up. And that's the way it should be. But now it's, over the last 15 or so years, if you announce good news, that means they're going to raise interest rates because they want to kill it. So you can never really be that successful because you announce all record numbers, great, because they're afraid of inflation. But growth doesn't have to have any impact on inflation. It can make inflation go down in many cases. So, and you've seen that with us. I mean, we're growing at a much faster rate than anybody thought was possible. We have very controllable inflation. With Biden, we were getting killed, and we had the worst inflation in 48 years in history, in the history of our country. And that's with going down. So growth is a great thing. It doesn't mean inflation. And I want to go back to a system where when we announce good news, they say that's great. We can lower interest rates instead of raise interest rates. And by the way, if inflation comes, we'll take care of it when it comes. But they're trying to guess it, and they're trying to get it 10 years before in advance. And, you know, we want to make this country greater than ever before, and I think we're doing that. But we want to make it that when we announce great news, everything goes up. If we announce bad news, that happens too. We bring it down, and we control, and we do what we have to do. But we can have numbers in the upside like nobody's ever seen before. I want to ask Bobby to say a few words, if he would, about some of the incredible things that we've been doing in your department with Oz and everybody else.
Mr. President, we're in the process of implementing your great healthcare bill, which is going to increase affordability, drive down costs, and increase the quality of healthcare for every American. You mentioned MFN, Most Favored Nation. We now have agreements with 16 of the 17 drug companies. And you asked us to do something, you know, Clinton had promised to do this, Biden had promised to do this, Obama, Bush had all promised to do it. None of them succeeded. It was regarded as impossible, and you made it 10 times harder. As you said, not only do I want MFN, but I want them to all reshore their production to this country. And they don't have any money to do it because we've taken it all from them. And I want to make sure we continue to lead the world in innovation. We succeeded in all of those goals, and the proof that we did that is after we signed those agreements, the stock prices for those companies went up $1.3 trillion.
Amazing.
And they are reshoring. Eli Lilly is building 6 new plants, including an API plant. So the next time that we have a pandemic in this country, we're not going to be stuck buying API from China, who cuts us off. We're going to be able to make it right here. Novo Nordisk is building 4 new plants, and we are going to be releasing Trump RX so that every American can get the lowest prices in the developed world. In some cases, they're going to be lower than the lowest prices in the developed world, and that's going to be happening sometime probably in the next 10 days. So we're doing rural health care. We sent out $10 billion last week. The states have that money. They're going to be giving it to rural hospitals sometimes in the next 2 weeks. And we're going to revolutionize rural health care in this country. You are raising the influx of federal dollars to rural health care by 30% over the next 5 years. So 30% every year, more dollars, federal dollars, are going to be flowing to them. It's going to allow them to rebuild their decaying infrastructure, to retain providers, and also to revolutionize the use of AI and other technologies, which is going to dramatically lower the prices for rural Americans and raise the quality of their health care. Brooke and I released the dietary guidelines, which have been received incredible acclamation from both sides of the aisle. We are going to change the food culture in this country. Brooke gives away $405 million a day to buy food for Americans. And the WIC program, the Head Start program, SNAP, school lunches, the VA, and the military, they're now going to be getting real food for the first time. And Brooke came up with the ingenious idea of requiring every store in this country that accepts food stamps to double the amount of real food that they're selling. And this is going to drive changes in the market, and it's going to lower the cost of meats, of proteins, of whole grains, of fruits and vegetables, so that every American will have in their reach an affordable meal that actually is real food. 70% of American kids now are, 70% of the diet of American kids is now ultra-processed foods. That's why we're spending $5 trillion in treating chronic disease in this country every year. We are attacking fraud. We have Oz finding hundreds of billions of dollars of Medicaid, Medicare fraud in states like Minnesota and California, and we are clawing back that money. We also accomplished something that every American has promised, which is prior authorization. Now we have 80% of the insurance industry that has agreed to eliminate prior authorization in almost all of their procedures. So that this is going to dramatically change the experience of every American with the healthcare system. When you go to your doctor at your point of care, before you leave that office, you will know whether the insurance company is going to pay for the procedure or not. And that is going to, as I said, change the experience. We're also doing price transparency, which you asked during your first term. It never got implemented because the Biden administration never enforced it. We brought more enforcement actions against hospitals than in this 1 year, and the Biden administration brought in 4 years, and we're doing a crackdown so that every American, when you go to a restaurant, you look at the prices before you buy the meal. You ought to be able to do that when you go to a hospital, and by the time that we leave office, every American is going to have that guarantee. We're doing a lot of other stuff, but we were told to keep it short.
You are. And the autism, that's moving along, really, isn't it? Trying to figure that out.
We've commissioned now dozens of studies, maybe over 100, and we are going to get those done for you.
Good. That's so important. Also, Eli Lilly, Merck, Pfizer, every drug company, they're spending trillions of dollars right now, as we speak, building plants in the United States because they want to be able to save a lot of money on tariffs. It'll be hundreds of percent, 100%, 200%, 300% in 2 or 3 years from now. So I said, you better have your plant built because in 2 years from now, before I leave office, it'll be a sad day. Very sad day for me. But before I leave, every one of these plants better be built because you're going to be paying 300% tariffs. And they're all building their little hearts out. I spoke with the head of Eli Lilly, who's a fantastic guy, a star, actually. He's a star, very smart. And he told me he's building 6 plants in the United States, big ones, and locations that I know very well, but all over the country. Merck is building, and Pfizer's building, and every one of them's building, and foreign companies are building. So it's an amazing thing that's happening, and you're doing a fantastic job. I read an article today where they think Bobby is going to be really great for the Republican Party in the midterms. So I have to be very careful that Bobby likes us. But we're letting you do your job, right?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, man. You're doing a great job. You and Oz and the whole group, they're doing it.
I'll add this, and Marty McCary has done an incredible job at FDA.
That's true.
Last month, we approved more gene and cell therapies than any time in history. And we're making this a safe and productive and encouraging ecosystem for biotech so that China does not steal that industry from us.
Fantastic. I'm going to ask Scott Turner to speak really quickly about housing because, in my opinion, I have very strong opinions on housing. That's what I did for a long time. I did good with it. But, you know, we got to get interest rates down even lower. They are now pretty low, but we got to get them lower. And I'm a big factor. To me, the biggest factor is interest rates for housing. Only in that, you know, you have a lot of people that have become wealthy in the last year because their house value has gone up. And, you know, when you get the housing, when you make it too easy and too cheap to buy houses, those values come down. I don't want those values to come down. We have millions of people that own houses, and for the first time in their life, they're wealthy because their house is worth $500,000 or $600,000 or more or less, but more money than it's ever been worth before. I don't want to do anything to knock that down, and so I want to be very careful with this. You know, you make housing, I can turn on housing immediately, but you make it too easy and you're going to knock the value down of people that own houses. I want to, for those people, those millions of people that own houses, we're going to drive those values up, but we're also going to try making it easier for people to buy. The best thing that can happen for both groups of people is lower interest rates, and those interest rates are coming down, and with a proper, intelligent person at the Fed, that person will be able to work with us to get interest rates down. That covers all of the sins. It covers everything. Lower interest rates keeps the values up for the people that have housing and lets other people buy housing. And Scott, if you could just expand quickly on that.
Yes, sir. You did allude to when we first came in, sir. You know, our fiscal house in America was a mess, but because of your economic policies, the economy is thriving. And I do have some good news to share. As you said, you know, good news. I hope this will make the interest rates continue to go down. But because of your policies, sir, home sales in December, they rose sharply to their strongest pace in 3 years. A lot of people, when we first came in particular young people, were concerned and asking the question whether they would ever be able to afford to buy a house in America. which is the American dream. The 30-year fixed mortgage rate dipped to a multi-year lows, driving monthly payments down for the 2 years at the lowest levels. So more people can get a mortgage now. More families can be able to afford to get a home and achieve the American dream. At HUD last year, we helped and supported over 1 million people through FHA and Ginnie Mae to be able to buy a home. 500,000 of those were first-time home buyers, and hundreds of thousands of our veterans we supported. And so that's good news that millions of people in our country are now beginning to buy homes. We also, sir, saw that you are, and we're working with you, making bold action to ban institutional investors from buying single-family homes. Those homes are for the American people. So, sir, thank you for your leadership on that. Also working with Director Pulte over at FHFA to buy $200 billion worth of mortgage-backed securities, driving down even more the cost to get a home. And so we're grateful for those actions. Also, the One Big Beautiful Bill has been tremendous, making the low-income tax credit increase.
Stand by. I have the Clarity Act XRP data, and then we're going to go a very quick live stream on that. Right after this, link to the top. Then we're going to go live to Casey for Ladies of Crypto, who's going to cover the story in more depth for you. Clarity Act, what it means.
1 million people lifted out of poverty.
Why did I buy last night and this morning? Well, you all heard it on Discord first. You all know, you all have we don't get front run here. I've doubled my position on XRP this morning.
Senator, he's a great guy. Tim
Stand by, that's coming up.
First administration, first term, and he had this idea for opportunity zones, and he gave me the idea, we did it, we implemented it. It's one of the most successful programs in the history of our country, and nobody talks about it. The press doesn't talk about it, but I want to just tell you, Tim Scott, Senator, South Carolina, did a great job, right?
Did a wonderful job, yes, sir.
Did a good job. He's a good man.
Yes, sir. And so those have been made permanent now. Will help millions of Americans to be able to afford to buy homes. Also, the One Big Beautiful Bill has been allowing HUD to make sure, working with the Department of Homeland Security, that every person that lives in HUD-funded housing is an American citizen. A blind eye has been turned prior to us being here to people living in HUD-funded housing, but no more. We're going to take account and transparency to make sure. And sir, there's a lot of crime that goes on in public housing, but we're coming after the criminals and making sure that everybody in there is an American citizen. So thank you for your support. We are now have taken possession of our new building in Alexandria, and we're going to save the American taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. So sir, thank you for your support and your leadership.
Thank you, Scott. Great job. Appreciate it. One of the things Scott said, though, is, again, existing housing, people that own their homes, we're going to keep
Big
them
Clarity
wealthy.
Act and live event coming up next. Stand by.
We're not going to destroy the value of their homes so that somebody that didn't work very hard can buy a home. We're going to make it easier to buy. We're going to get interest rates down. But I want to protect the people that for the first time in their lives feel good about themselves. They feel like that they're wealthy people. And I want them to understand it. There's so much talk about, we're going to drive housing prices down. I don't want to drive housing prices down. I want to drive housing prices up for people that own their homes. And they can be assured that's what's going to happen. Chris, could you say a few words about energy, please?
You bet, Mr. President. I can say with confidence that your energy dominance agenda is firing on all cylinders. United States oil production today is greater than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined, the number 2 and number 3 producers. Our natural gas production today is greater than Russia, China, and Iran combined, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th largest natural gas producers. Huge production in the United States. Secretary Burgum at the Interior Department has taken in more money on oil and gas lease sales in the first year of this administration than the entire 4 years of the Biden administration. And beyond oil and gas, 6 new coal leases under this first year of this administration from the Interior Department, and coal production is growing again in the United States after years of decline. And this beautiful clean coal was the MVP of the huge cold snap we're in right now. I can say with some confidence, hundreds of American lives have been saved because of your leaning in and stopping the killing of coal and revitalizing coal. Coal, over the last few days, where we're at peak demand in electricity, has delivered 20 times more electricity than solar and batteries. Think about that, 20 times more.
That's because coal doesn't mind very cold weather. Right? You're not allowed to say the word coal without proceeding by saying clean, beautiful coal. Clean, beautiful coal. It's not affected by bad weather. Rain, snow, sleet, freezing coal. How does it react under freezing cold weather?
It steps up and delivers big time. In fact, what coal did during this storm was deliver massively more electricity than it was delivering a month ago, because we needed far more electricity. Who can step up?
The windmills, by the way, are all frozen. You know, they don't turn. The windmills aren't turning. The windmills that these fools paid for. The fool is this country, because the people that have the windmills get massive subsidy, and they make a fortune on windmills that don't even work, and they don't produce anywhere near what they should be. And it's the most expensive form of energy there is. And by the way, Europe is destroying itself with the stupid windmills they're putting all over their beautiful areas of most magnificent landscapes in the world, and they're just destroying. Europe, bet against smart. Between immigration and energy, they're destroying. It's not recognizable. They've got to smarten up before it's too late. Please go ahead.
Yeah, in New England, with somewhat European energy policies, at peak demand time, very cold in New England, wind, solar, and batteries that you were just speaking of delivered less than 3% of the electricity needed at peak demand time, and that's when it matters. Because if electricity goes out when it's very cold, people die. Over 200 people died in a smaller cold snap during the Biden administration. This was massively larger geographically. We've had no failure of the electricity grid, no failure of long-distance transmission lines. Local distribution lines have iced up and come down, and we have people from all over the country working to get those back up because people need their lights back on. But your energy policies delivered just a dramatically different outcome for the American people. If we'd continued the Biden-era policies for one more year, continued to shut down coal plants, continued these crazy climate restrictions that wouldn't even let power plants run at maximum demand time, we hadn't liberated all the backup generators that are sitting there. We gave up an emergency approval.
So a lot of those plants that were going to close, coal plants that were modern and good and threw off very little problem, and that were really powerful. You know, by the way, China does most of everything they're doing with coal. Not that we want to copy anybody, but you know, they make the windmills, but they don't have a lot of wind farms. Somebody ought to look at that. How many wind farms do they have? Very, very few. They make them, they sell them, they make a fortune, but they don't use them. So the coal, I understand they're using it also as a great backup. So you build a plant, but they have it as a backup in case of tragedy, in case of really bad weather, et cetera, et cetera. They actually store coal on the site of other plants, so that if they need emergency energy, the coal is always going to be there, whereas other things aren't. Is that correct?
Exactly. Coal just stepped up here to 25% of our electricity during this high demand time. Natural gas, coal, and nuclear. They are what run the American electricity grid. The others are ornaments and often expensive ornaments.
And you stopped plants from being demolished, right?
17 gigawatts of coal generation plants were slated to close last year that were stopped from being closure by this administration.
And if they were closed, we would be really tight on energy.
We would have had significant blackouts at these peak cold times, and extrapolating from the last storm during the Biden administration, I think at least hundreds of deaths. Because in the South, a lot of heating is done with electricity generation. If those grids go down, people die. So these, and when going back to the Working Families Tax Cut Act, or the One Big Beautiful Bill, that got rid of $500 billion of subsidies, energy subsidies, that do nothing but make energy more expensive and less reliable. And under this administration, we've spent massively less on energy, and we've delivered massively more on energy. And when you have more energy of lower prices.
It's a fantastic job. You and Doug. Doug said, you got to get this guy Doug. You got to get this guy Chris Wright and get him as soon as you can. I said, but I want you to run energy. He said, well, I'm good at it, but he's better, right? Didn't you tell me that? So I gave him the land, I gave you the energy, right? And it's a great combination. I mean, they literally have, I said, maybe we'll merge it in some way. They said, we don't have to. We get along. They work They work together, right, with the land. He's got the land and the energy. He's got the knowledge to take it out. It's been a good combination.
This administration, the whole administration, and your leadership has been very focused on energy because we can push down energy prices, we can lower costs on Americans, and we can raise wages by bringing jobs and opportunities here. It is a transformation of American energy. Thanks for your leadership.
He's one of the most respected people in the energy world, and Doug told me about Chris Wright. They said if you could get him, what he gave up to do this job, you're making a little less money, but that's all right. You don't care. What you're doing is fantastic. But he said he's the best in the world. Other people have told me that. The heads of the biggest companies have told me that. And it's really panning out to be so. We appreciate it very much. It's great. One of the things we're doing with energy, I think that's so important. We have an old grid, been around a long time, and not really, can't be much expanded. It can be fixed up a little bit, but can't be much expanded. And we have some plants that are so big that the grid would never be able to hold it. We're allowing them to build a electric producing plant, mostly electric, but they can use nuclear to do it, they can use oil and gas, they can use coal, they can use whatever they want. I think many are choosing oil and gas because it's there, it's tried, it's true, it's plentiful, it's inexpensive. Some are going nuclear, some are going both. Many are going all three. But the plants, you read, well, how do we ever fire those plants? Because to do this, we need 2 times the electricity we produce in 1 year for the entire country, which is almost hard to believe. These buildings are so big. They're going up now. So I did something that nobody thought was possible also. When they build their building, they build their own electric generating plants. And we are seeing some of the most incredible designs you've ever seen. So we don't need the grid.
Stand by, Clarity Act in a second. You can now see why I just took profit the S&P. It's a punt to dump. You can see it. Same as crypto. I've doubled my position lower. All my trades are on Discord. I've onboarded everybody through this stream. Stand by for Clarity. And stand by for Ladies of Crypto. All going to explain to you, we're always winning here. As you can see, I'm up when the market is down, always beating the market. Stand by.
And it's primarily because I'm allowing them to build with their plant their own electricity. If they had to rely on the grid, they wouldn't have any
power. And I've got a big announcement from Sensei, who's been talking to Michael Burry. Stand by. Don't go anywhere.
We have a very capable man in
big announcement.
Named Lee Zeldin. He may be in the room someplace. Is it his normal place? He's there. He's always there. Most reliable, solid guy. And he's done an amazing job. Could you just explain that? And also, because of the fact he's so good, California has a problem. The hardest permit to get when they lost 25,000 or so houses, which shouldn't have been lost, they should have allowed the water to come down from the Pacific Northwest, which was very plentiful. But they didn't
Please
do
tap
that.
the like button. Let's get 1,000 likes. Be a record.
Lee and his team
big announcement on XRP coming up.
Complicated permit within 20 days. Everybody, every single house that burned down got the federal approval. Unfortunately, it's well over a year, and the state and the city, that's Gavin Newsom, and the city, the mayor, who's grossly incompetent, by the way, they have been unable to give permits. There are like 3 houses being built. Out of thousands and thousands, they have no permits. So I read about a week ago that it's possible, because of what's happened, whether you declare national emergency or something, these people are they're dying to build their house, they want to do something, that I could put somebody in charge from the federal government. Congratulations, Lee. And I'm putting Lee Zeldin in charge of getting them their permits, city, federal. You have the federal, you need the city and state, and I hear you have great powers over them if we want, and we're going to give you that power. We've already given you that power. So Lee Zeldin is going to work with the thousands of people that are dying to build their house. And I also recommend one other thing.
Be careful chasing gold. Be careful chasing the S&P. We've already sold it. All my Discord members have sold.
Larger. They've suffered so greatly.
We're all making money. Please be careful on your crypto as well.
Give it a bonus. So I think, and I've heard this has been done before. They get a 10% bonus. They can build a house that's a little bit larger than what they had before. And I'd like to have you take it over.
Mr. President, your great Secretary of State was looking for another job.
I was thinking about him, but he's pretty well booked. I watched him. He did a great job yesterday, but He's a little booked up. Let's go, Lee. Talk. No more ideas like that, Lee.
When President Trump came into office, he immediately signed an executive order giving EPA 30 days to complete our Phase 1 hazardous material removal so that the Army Corps can come in and complete their Phase 2 debris removal. So at first, the response was that was going to be impossible. Good luck trying to get it done maybe by the
See
summer.
this? I'll explain why that is. Stand by.
Operating at Trump speed, the president was just sworn in.
Ladies of Crypto coming up as well.
We got it done in less than 30 days. The Army Corps then came in
and a special announcement.
The debris removal. So the federal government, while the governor has tried to accuse this president of not focusing with a laser on putting all of the weight of the federal government into getting this done, it happened from the moment he was sworn into office. SBA came in. I think it was about half of the disaster loan money, billions of dollars from last year went towards these residents and businesses. So the full weight of this government. But right after I was sworn in, which was actually a year ago today, my first trip was to East Palestine because the vice president never forgets his home state. The second trip was going to Los Angeles. There were people with contractors all over Palisades and Eaton ready to rebuild right then and there. You're talking about a year ago. And now the frustration, the passion that we all hear
There it goes
from all
again.
these Los Angeles
Stand by,
residents.
I'll tell you what's going on.
And President Trump, he's made it clear to us that he's heard enough. And the message should be heard loud and clear to that local leadership. They should be motivated listening to this right now. And when this cabinet meeting is over, if it hasn't been done already, is that they need to go into the office where these permits are just laying around, flip over tables if you have to, fire people if you have to, and get all of these approvals done so that people can rebuild their lives. It's been a year, and this president has had enough.
So whatever you can do, that's going to be very important. And it's so sad, those people, we were there a few days after the fire, you were there with me, we were walking down the streets. The people are devastated. The love that they had for that property was, everybody was going to rebuild, and they thought they could do it immediately. They should have. We gave it to them so quickly, but they can't get their permits. They still can't build, and they're losing spirit too. I mean, a lot of people are losing spirit. And the other thing I'd like to talk to you about and other people about that happen to be sitting around the table. They want to build a low-income housing project right in the middle of everything in Palisades. And I'm not going to allow it to happen, okay? I mean, maybe it's politically correct, maybe it's not. I'm not going to let these people destroy the value of their houses. I built a lot of low-income housing. I made a lot of money building low-income housing. I know more about it than anybody. We're not going to allow this guy to build a low-income housing project on top of everything else in the middle of that mess that was created by the fact that they didn't allow water to come down from the Pacific Northwest, okay? And I'd like you to have that stopped, and stopped immediately. No financing, that might be you, Scott, because they'll come to you for financing. It's never going to be approved. You would never, but Scott thought it was a horrible thing. So there's going to be no financing for low-income housing. Let the people build their houses, and as fast as you can, help them, help the mayor and help the governor get their permitting done, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Kelly, I think you were just alluded to, are you helping some of the people out there with loans?
Yes, Mr. President, thanks to your leadership, you also helped put the fires out. Your executive order got water to the scene in your earliest days of your presidency. So you've been there.
Okay, they are wrapping up. If you'd like me to end this now, I will carry on if you want me to, but they are wrapping up. If you want me to end this now and go to the live crypto announcement, update what's going on, a very quick Clarity Act update, and give you the big news, and then go to Ladies of Crypto, say yes in the chat. Yes or no. I'll do a quick poll.
Because of your leadership, they're going to be able to rebuild.
Start a poll.
But that's not all you've
done. And they'll take the credit for it. Watch, it'll start, and they'll take the credit. Look at the great job we did. They would never. It wouldn't get built in 20 years, and it will be destroyed by building low-income housing next to luxury housing. History says that doesn't work too well. Go ahead.
We're going to make sure that doesn't happen, Mr. President.
Please.
But under your leadership, you've ended at least 8 wars, okay? But probably the most important and underreported war that this president ended was Joe Biden and the Democrats' war on Main Street and hardworking families. We've seen it as I've gone across the country this month, 10 different states, and we saw it when we were together in Iowa. Hardworking families, farmers, small businesses expressing gratitude, lined up to thank you. I was out with our great Vice President last week in Toledo,
okay, you
Ohio.
want it?
They are
I'll end the
thanking
poll.
this administration
I'll bring it
for
to you. I
making
wanted to check
Main
what's
Street
going on.
back.
Okay, so
The
here we go.
Trump tax
They're just
cuts,
wrapping
the
up now.
tariffs.
They're just wrapping this up. So now we're going to bring you the news. I've got lots of big news to share with you very, very quickly. So let's get ready to rock and roll. What we're going to do is first, I've got a big statement about to make this. Got two big statements. Let me show you on the screen what we're going to do. We've got two events lined up. We've got this event first. The Clarity Act, exactly what's going on with XRP and the Clarity Act. We're going to go there live now, but before I do, stand by. We've got the Clarity Act, and then straight after it, I've lined up Ladies of Crypto. Casey is ready to bring you all this. She's ready to go, our first female broadcaster on the network. She's going to go live. Look, hundreds of members have joined this morning to be part of this. This is Ladies of Crypto. This is coming up next. As you can see, the S&P is selling off exactly like I said. I took a trade. I took the profit, but first of all, we're going to go here. This is the XRP Clarity news, okay? So before I send you there, though, stand by. I've got a big statement from Sensei. Sensei is on the brink of becoming the #1 best-selling newsletter in the world on Substack, where Michael Burry sits. It's the #1 newsletter organization in the world. He is #2 bestseller. This channel owns the best #2 in the world. We are that close to being the #1 bestseller financial news in the world. So, to celebrate, right now in the chat, there it is, the newsletter. If you sign up for it right now, we're giving you 1 week for free, and you will be the very first to get the newsletter email with Sensei's challenge. He's got doing a challenge, the $5,000 challenge to $1 million to try to beat me. He's got no chance. But anyway, there you go. If you want the newsletter, right now, we are that close to being the #1 bestseller in the world on the Substack platform. He was talking to Michael Burry 2 days ago. So everyone, quick, you got 1 week. Now, what we're going to do now is we've got some big news, why XRP is going down, why the S&P is going down. All of you, I onboarded all of you during that broadcast. There is my Discord. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to give it to you for free. 90% discount, my Discord community, where I do live one-on-one video calls with all of you, plus you see all my trades. I just took a massive profit again. I've just sold the S&P. I've just doubled my position on XRP, and I shared all my trades with all my Electrum members. There's the link for YouTube Electrum, and all my Discord members. You all knew what I was doing. I told you it was a pump and dump. There it goes, the S&P. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to give you the XRP Clarity News live right now. Here it comes, and then we're going to go straight to Ladies of Crypto. Casey is waiting to bring you all the news. She was the one that brought us the story about Bitcoin being seized by the government. So this is massive news right now. So let me give you this link first of all. It's pinned in the top. This is where we're going to go first. This will be a 5-minute show to bring you the news, and then you'll go straight to Casey. Is now on standby. There is the link. It'll take you there directly, and then straight after the XRP Clarity News, boom, Ladies of Crypto. Casey is on standby. So hopefully by now you've all signed up for our award-winning, that close to being #1. We are #2 in the world right now. But first of all, we're going live here. Everybody, click on the link. We're going to be there in 10 seconds. From there, we go to Ladies of Crypto, and she's going to bring you all the news. I was right again. Look at that. It's selling off just as we said it would, and we've all won again. We've doubled our position on XRP. That's going down. People are spreading false information. We've got it. Sensei will bring you more later on today. But everybody, we're now going over to XRP Clarity. Join me now, and then straight to Ladies of Crypto. We're doing it right now. Take care of yourselves and each other. Here we go.